Welcome to New Sky TV videos. Today I would like to introduce to you gentle stories about love and sweet moments of famous people. The inside story of Zhao Liying's divorce. Feng Shaofeng asked painfully whether it was true love or just making do, and the response was too heartbreaking. I want gentleness, but not to lose myself. Zhao Liying and Feng Shaofeng's marriage started with stunning and ended with sobriety. When the scales of career and family could not be balanced, she chose to stick to herself, and he learned to accept growth. This is not a failure of love, but a common interpretation of freedom and dignity by two souls. Zhao Liying and Feng Shaofeng's marriage was like a sudden rain, catching people off guard. On October 16, 2018, the two suddenly announced their marriage, and the whole network was in an uproar as soon as the news came out. At that time, Zhao Liying had just topped the throne of the national goddess with princess agents, and Feng Shaofeng was firmly in the ranks of first-line male stars with the name of ancient costume male god. Their combination was called the most suitable couple in the entertainment industry by the media, as if they were a perfect couple arranged by fate. But the reality is much more complicated than the script. Zhao Liying was born in the countryside and worked hard to make a name for herself step by step. Feng Shaofeng, on the other hand, is from a Shanghai family with a good family background and abundant resources. It is generally believed that her marriage into a wealthy family was a counterattack and also a slap in the face. Some people praised her for finally finding her home, while others implied that she climbed up the ladder. But who can really walk into their lives? In an interview, Zhao Liying whispered, "I want to be gentle, but not lose myself." This sentence was like a thorn, quietly buried under the foundation of their marriage. She has never concealed her dedication to her career, and even maintained a high-intensity work rhythm after marriage. Feng Shaofeng, on the other hand, began to gradually show his desire for family life. He once confessed on the show, "Sometimes I wonder, is she marrying because she loves me, or is she just trying to complete a certain stage of life?" This question became the starting point of the rift in the marriage. On April 23, 2021, Zhao Liying and Feng Shaofeng officially announced their divorce, with just one sentence: "We chose to return to a friendship because of the lack of time for work." It seems calm, but it is actually undercurrent. The outside world speculated on the reasons. Some said it was a personality incompatibility, some said it was a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law problem, and some people dug up Feng Shaofeng's past love history and tried to find clues from it. But in a little-known interview, Feng Shaofeng revealed his emotions about the breakdown of his marriage for the first time. He said, "I used to work hard to maintain this relationship, but every communication was like fighting a battle with no chance of winning." Behind this sentence, there is a man who gradually loses his sense of control in his marriage. He tried to understand Zhao Liying's career ambition and tried to adjust his lifestyle, but in the end he found that the pace of their lives was no longer on the same track. What is even more regrettable is that an insider revealed that during a fierce quarrel during the marriage, Feng Shaofeng once asked Zhao Liying, "Do you love me or not? Or do you just want to complete the task of getting married?" Zhao Liying was silent for a long time, and finally said only one sentence, "I want to live, but I can't give up myself for others." This sentence is like a knife, cutting through all the disguised sweetness. Her answer is not to deny love, but to refuse to sacrifice herself for marriage. This choice is often regarded as indifferent, selfish, or even not knowing how to cherish in traditional concepts. But in fact, it is precisely the adherence to the independent personality of modern women. In this marriage, Feng Shaofeng played the role of loving humbly, while Zhao Liying was labeled as strong and difficult to tame. But who can say that such a label represents the whole truth? 5 years have passed, and looking back at this marriage, we find that it is much more complicated than it seems. Zhao Liying quickly restarted her career after her divorce, starring in Happiness to 10,000 Homes and Wind Blows Midsummer successively, and won the Phishon Award for Best Actress for the latter. She choked up on the podium and said, "I never look forward to it, because things don't go as I wish." At that moment, countless audiences truly understood her choice back then. Feng Shaofeng was once the Prince Charming in the hearts of countless people. His handsome appearance and gentle temperament made him the most popular in the entertainment industry. However, since his divorce from Zhao Liying, his career seemed to be paused, his reputation plummeted, his works received mediocre responses, and his glory was gone. Just when everyone thought he would gradually fade out of sight, he talked about marriage openly and touchingly in a variety show. He said, "I used to think that as long as I loved someone enough, everything would be perfect. But now I understand that marriage is not a one-sided compromise, but the growth of two people together. In just a few sentences, every word was sincere, as if it was a farewell to the past, and also like a new understanding of marriage. This reflection makes people see a more mature and real Feng Shaofeng. In fact, with the change of social concepts, more and more people realize that marriage is never about who loves who more, but about how to balance each other's needs and growth. Love is important, but understanding and communication are the cornerstones of a long-term marriage. Feng Shaofeng used his own personal experience to tell us that true maturity is not blindly insisting, but daring to face yourself and start again after failure. His transformation is not only a turning point in life, but also a profound interpretation of the truth of marriage. This frankness and courage may be the key to whether he can win the audience and the market again in the future. Zhao Liying proved with her actions that women can have dual pursuits of career and family, instead of having to choose one or the other. It's not that she doesn't love Feng Shaofeng, but she is unwilling to suppress herself for the sake of marriage. This choice should not be misunderstood as indifference, but should be regarded as a kind of courage, dare to face reality and dare to be loyal to the heart. As Feng Shaofeng realized in reflection, marriage is not a sacrifice of one party, but a common growth of both parties in understanding and respect. Zhao Liying precisely interprets this with practical actions. She did not lose herself in marriage, always adhered to her original intention in her career, and did not compromise her dream because of the change of identity. Every breakthrough of hers is a powerful response to traditional concepts and a firm expression of the value of women's independence. This marriage may not have a perfect ending, but it allows both people to know themselves more clearly. They are no longer attached to each other, but more mature individuals after starting again on their own paths. Zhao Liying's tenacity and clarity have not only inspired countless women to bravely pursue themselves, but also made people rethink the meaning of modern marriage. Love is not a bondage, but a fulfillment. Marriage is not a belonging, but a companionship. In this experience, they have all experienced growth and awakening. Leaving is not a failure, but a more powerful choice for the future. At 3 in the morning, Zhao Liying's assistant sent the latest notice. The filming will start at 8 tomorrow morning, and the third scene of the new drama Happiness to 10,000 Homes will be filmed. She sat in the dressing room, flipping through the script. There were 2 words written on the title page: persistence. This is her first long drama after her divorce, and it is also the beginning of her redefining life. On the other side, Feng Shaofeng was participating in a talk show. The host asked him, "If you had a chance to do it again, would you choose to get married?" He was silent for a moment, smiled and said, "Maybe, but I don't regret it." The camera swept across his profile, and the pair of eyes that were once full of passion now had a bit more vicissitudes. In the public opinion field, the discussion about strong women and weak men has never stopped. Some people criticized Zhao Liying for being too strong, while others supported her for being herself. But what is really worth paying attention to is the change that is happening in this era. Marriage is no longer the only criterion for measuring women's success, but a right to choose. This is not a failed marriage, but an insistence on freedom and dignity. It tells us that true love is not about binding each other, but about achieving each other. It reminds us that the meaning of marriage should not be defined by others, but by ourselves. The story of Zhao Liying and Feng Shaofeng may not be the most perfect, but it is enough and profound enough. In this era that increasingly emphasizes individual values, we need more women like Zhao Liying who dare to make choices and take on responsibilities. Their existence is not to break traditions, but to allow everyone to live out their own lives.